Welcome back to Warhammer 40K Imperium Maledictum Iron Archipelago, episode 19. Why is that amusing to you?
Because you started off speaking really fast, and I thought maybe you were going to try to troll Dynamis.
I always try to troll Dynamis when I start by speaking very fast and then move to speaking very slowly.
He gets out of bed in the morning and goes, how can I troll Dynamis today?
I believe shit goes downhill, all right? James trolls me all week long. He told me that my map making broke his immersion and a part of my soul died.
I told you my map making enhanced my immersion.
Okay, that's true, but you said it really sarcastically. I have it recorded, so he did say it enhanced the immersion, but again, he said it sarcastically. Today I learned an interesting fact that there are 7 million people who qualify as Irish Australian who are just as unliked in Ireland as Irish Americans are also in Ireland. So I guess Ireland has a long history of shitting on Irish people who don't live in Ireland.
You're not Irish if you don't live in Irish, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, look,
and live in Ireland.
I think you have to live in the right part of the
Irish have a history of shitting on people that are Irish and live in Ireland as well. You know, they are equal opportunity bigots. They will go after anybody.
This is starting to sound
that's my people you're talking about.
This is starting to sound very Parisian.
You know, the great part about the French is that they understand when you're speaking English. They just choose to answer you in French.
Oh, so it's like a cat. They understand you. They're just choosing to ignore the shit out of you.
Amore does not understand pointing. I have attempted to teach her, like, I'm pointing at the treat that I threw. You should go eat it. And she's just like, oh, I want to hit your hand now. And I'm like, no, I'm pointing. I'm directing. Dogs understand this. And she's just like...
Dogs do understand pointing.
Yeah, dogs point at things. There's a whole breed of dogs that are famous for pointing at things. They're called pointers.
I think you just proved that some cats are on the spectrum.
Some? I can guarantee you, my cat is definitely, I call him an ADHD cat all the time because when he wants to play, what we usually end up doing is I toss this little 1-inch diameter ball back and forth down the hallway, and he will stop mid-chase and go be like, oh, I smelled something by my water bowl. I'm like, it's the same water bowl that's never moved.
I was watching a video yesterday about types of gamers, like both card gamers and role-playing gamers, and the person gave me the video. It's like, okay, gamers are on a spectrum. No, not that spectrum. Okay, well, probably that spectrum too. But,
okay.
Fair and accurate statement, if ever there was one, by the way.
We start with the sound of a 1980s American high school clock. That's sort of just beneath what the teacher can speak over level of running, noise, just that ever-present hum of the hand turning as the seconds pass. And as the camera pulls away from this clock, we see that it's extremely gothic. It's covered in a sort of black lattice work around the outside, which attaches it to a wall. The wall is dark black as well, with some interlaid, almost electronics, pipes, things hanging from the ceiling, chains that would imply that this is some sort of Adeptus Mechanicus facility. And as we continue to pull out, we can see that there is someone wearing a interrogator's badge and many symbols of the Inquisition upon themselves. They are addressing a classroom in which sits a Death Watch Space Marine, several people who are almost certainly former gangsters and criminals, a sister of battle, a fallen noble, and just several more pieces of refuse from across the Imperium's spectrum of people that they deal with. And the interrogator that is in charge of the classroom says, "So, this is how we are going to resume class. As you are aware, 700 years ago, these cohorts were being followed and have been instrumental in assembling the class for which you are now taking. Corporate Lingo 201. We are going to pick up where we left off from yesterday's lesson. I assume that the post-hypnotic induction of the syllabus in your mind is still fresh, but let us begin where we left off yesterday. Say the words with me. Core competencies. And we hear everyone on the word go, core competencies. Very good. Core competencies. Next, deep dive. Everyone goes, deep dive. The camera leaves the room, and we can see it's got a little placard above it that says 201, Introduction to Corporate Lingo. And the camera follows along the hallway until we reach the next room, which is 101, Introduction to Rogue Trading. We can see that there is an aged instructor who is clearly an inquisitor, wearing this pilgrim hat, the rosette, incredibly intimidating shoulder pauldrons and black trench coat, guns and swords of all different alien designs around his waist, just standing there so smugly. Yes, so we're going to look further into this particular group. Now, as you can see here, we have several different points of reference. Rogue traders are a classic disguise for a inquisitor. This knowledge must be imbued in you, and unfortunately, torture and hypnosis are not enough. You will need to go through a 400-level course on the fundamentals of mercantilism. So, let us begin. What is a rogue trader? And we could see someone's like, he's like, no, wrong. Whatever you're about to say out of the textbook is wrong. Rogue traders are chaos. They are absolute barbarians. The rules do not apply to them. They are an enemy of the Inquisition. As that rant cuts off, we see the clock in this classroom going backwards and backwards and backwards until the screen goes black. And it says minus 700 years ago. And we cut to a rather bored-looking rogue trader, Captain Pierre Cowles, who is filling out a series of checklists on a tablet, clipboard from his mechanicus, like his onboard engine seer, who's like, "That's right, sir. I cannot in good conscience authorize these changes to the Gellerfield until you have filled out these 13 pages of forms and have performed the proper sacrifice. It will take at least 4,000 Macarian solars worth of incense in order to appease the Omnisire. We've also placed an order for an extra shipment of the holy oils. If you'll sign here and initial here."
Oh, it's only 13 pages this time. That's great.
"I have talked to my superiors in the Magos department at reducing the paperwork by just pre-filling out your name in several categories.
Well, that saves about maybe 20 pages.
I aim for efficiency, Lord Captain. Now, if you'll sign here, initial here, and then write your full name here."
You probably could cut down more pages if you just had the initials already on there.
"Ah, that would be against the rules."
I see. Never mind then.
As you finish filling this out, we cut to this team of a different rogue traders factors on board your ship, sitting in some sort of conference room aboard the Hand of Calixis, just watching you fill out paperwork while looking absolutely fantastic in the height of your power, just using a massive pen to fill out these forms. It's so
I feel like
boring.
he's using a quill.
Yeah,
Like an actual,
of course.
like an actual
There's a massive
feathered
ink
pen.
pot servitor nearby whose like eyes have been replaced by ink pots, so you just get in there and just fill it out. Yes, of course. Perfect.
Rassie's probably just been wide-eyed staring at random bits of furniture and the walls and whatever. He's never been on a rogue trader vessel before.
Yeah, Velamris is definitely fangirling still. This is amazing. He's
Wayne
probably
is
looking for
nearby.
like
He sees you picking out Velamris, and he's like, "Oh, I see you've never been aboard a rogue trader's vessel before. Perhaps you'd like one of our complimentary towels that have the rogue trader's initials in them."
Actually, that sounds good. I actually like that. I don't like the way you're chuckling though.
I just have that sort of face and voice and
that sort of dark,
mannerism.
crazy vibe. Got it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Take this complimentary towel. Now, this is like a little hand towel that's been pre-folded, and like the initials PC for Pierre Cals are like prominently on it. But for some reason, when you flip through it, there's an H on the other side, weirdly.
Have they warmed it like they do on like airplanes?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's warm. Yes, and it's slightly damp as well, so you can clean your face with it. You can take that home with you. We produce them locally on board the ship. There's some sort of creation machine that creates fabrics on board. The strangest things you can find from my great granduncle. Yeah.
I still don't like you, but
Rassie will reach into a cargo pocket and pull out a small corpse starch bar. And he's just quietly open just the top of it, pull out like a salt shaker or something and pour a little salt in, hold it and start shaking it.
Can you define for me the difference between a cargo pocket and a regular pocket?
Cargo pocket goes on the mid-thigh. And it's bigger.
Okay.
There it is.
Bigger.
The United States Army is descending from the rafters right now.
For the life of me, I would never have synonymized that with cargo pocket. And
But that's how cargo shorts work.
I realize this.
Oh my gosh.
I
I
just
knew
usually
this
call
when
it
I
a
was
thigh
like 12,
pocket.
but I don't know shit about fashion, so...
I would just call it a thigh pocket, but cargo pocket makes more sense.
Yeah, no, we don't call it a side pocket.
It would imply you can't put cargo in your regular pockets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very big. I mean, it's probably the size of 2 pockets, to be honest. And you can get, if you're careful and thoughtful, you can get quite a bit stuffed in there. But
all right, we're getting distracted.
He's just
are you?
shaking his corpse starch bar.
Wade comes by and sees your corpse starch bar and goes, "Oh, a corpse starch bar. Perhaps you'd prefer some void braised eel. Perhaps we could have the chef make some pigeon or quail for you, or perhaps the egg of a flying cat beast from the Calixis sector. Or if you wish, we can get you some catsup for your corpse starch bar."
Well, can we have organised a serving of Papa Oinker's stew to be brought aboard as a gift for the road trader as well?
Of course. But it has to be, it has to just be the broth. It can't have any orc in it. Otherwise, they might lose their trade secret. Yeah.
We just bought a bunch of those recyclable or disposable
take out containers.
cardboard bowls.
The ones that have paper tops that are cardboard and kind of hard to pull off. Yeah.
That's it.
You can see Wade is sniffing at them and goes, smells delicious.
I wouldn't want to there's a word for this. I don't.
Oh no, we
I
have
don't
a
wanna
fully
trouble-
fledged cooking staff 2 kilometers deeper into the ship. We can send a boy down there immediately.
I think the word you want is intrude, Rassie.
Right, that one.
Yeah.
Intrude? I would never intrude. How dare you accuse me? Oh, you meant you intrude.
Me.
Of
Yeah,
course. Yes. Excuse me, I have a nervous
I'm curious, is Velamris twitching watching Pierre fill in administrative paperwork? Yeah.
that's a great question.
It's
I think he's just
mechanics paperwork, though, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I think he's
it's
just
still
too caught up in
paperwork,
the
though.
moment to be paying attention to that amount of administrivia going on. He's just too busy just fangirling. Like, this is the hand of Calixis. Like, I've never in a million years would have dreamt that I would ever see it, let alone be aboard her.
Because sometimes when you're watching Minecraft and someone's playing Minecraft badly, you feel the need to call it out. So
I see the trolling does not stop. Holy
Wow. Incredible.
Oh my gosh.
What a reference. Great, this is good radio. So the engines here goes, and that's everything, Lord Captain. I will begin the alterations to the Geller field. Just know, if anything happens, you and all the souls of those aboard this vessel and aboard the space station will all be held in contempt by the Omnisire.
Oh, that won't be for another at least 50 years. So
I hardly think you have 50 years left in you. But
That's what they said about 120. So
have you considered the weakness of the flesh? There are
yes,
still parts of you that could be replaced.
I need those parts.
The Archmagoses have continued to suggest an interest.
Of like, I owe money or interest as in they want to make me
You're fabulously
mechanical.
wealthy. No. They wish you to continue to travel down the path of the omnisciac ways.
I see. Well, we'll check back later when I start dying more. How about that?
We are all dying, all of us, at all times. Only the machine can save us.
That's
If you'll
what I meant, but
excuse
all
me,
right.
I'm going to go say some prayers right now.
Okay.
And he leaves, and he is definitely quoting some sort of really edgy Warhammer 40k litanies about the weakness of the flesh. Since the moment I understood the weakness of the flesh. And like, as he says that, he takes one step, and then he swings like an incense holder and dings a little bell. And then he continues it, and he's just moving out of the room very slowly as Wade's like, yes, the flesh is weak indeed. It's insane what can happen to one when their flesh is damaged. So, Imperial Guardsman Lieutenant, how do you feel? Quail? Pigeon? Perhaps some sort of quail inside a pigeon? Pigeon inside a quail? Eggs? Void braised eel? It's a delicacy you'll find positively corrupting.
I don't want to. I don't want to be rude. Pulls a little, definitely not Tabasco thing out and starts pouring a little into his package.
What is this strange liquid you are pouring on there?
Oh, would you like a taste?
No, not even slightly. It could be poisoned.
Well, I'm about to eat it.
That doesn't mean it's any less poisoned. It just means that you're stupid.
Well, it hasn't killed me yet.
I'm going to chime in from the other side and be like, yet.
Wade,
Yes.
you're a scion of the Cows line. Have you submitted your genetics to the Orders Famulus for assessment about finding the right match? You have a level of chutzpah, I think, that would go well.
No. There's no need to analyze my genetic line at all. I don't need any fancy marriages like that. I would have to be the rogue trader for something like that to matter.
Well, but you could certainly take the Cows' genetics into a different line.
Oh, there's no need for me to go anywhere else. I wouldn't want to leave my granduncle alone. He so easily gets lost and putters around without good old Wade to drive his golf cart.
How does that even work, sister?
How does what work? A golf cart? I don't know. I would ask a mechanicus person probably.
Oh, I mean, I suppose I don't know how that works either, but I don't know how that testing works.
Oh, I mean, we simply look at the genetics and eugenics involved in mixing certain family lines to find the right mix to produce superior humans.
Is it like physical test, or I guess I don't.
As opposed to what? An ecumenical test? Of course it's physical. It's chemistry. So it's chemistry.
Oh, that's okay. I've heard that word before.
I prefer poisoning. Sorry, I meant I prefer chemical sciences.
Okay. Starts nibbling on his bar.
You sure we can't get you any rare Conixian delicacies? We have some bottle of Worcestershire sauce, straight from Terra. Warhammer 40k is a British thing, so...
That's the case, then we'd all just be eating boiled meat.
Corpse starch?
But what do you think corpse starch is?
Okay. All right, fine. You got me.
It's
You
that
got
stuff
me.
before they turn it into hot dogs.
Ah, yes. What could be more British than a series about a group of colonialist, imperialist expansions who go around and gather new materials from beyond the edge of the Empire to bring back. Yes, surely there's no British influence of Warhammer 40k rogue trader.
None whatsoever.
So the region that was Britain on Terra is now called Albion in 40k.
Of course, why wouldn't it be? The once and future emperor, of course. Yeah.
Look, when you win the Unification Wars, you can decide what to call things.
Right, of course. And his most favored son, Mordred the Luna Wolf, showed up to defeat him in a one-on-one battle where he was injured and then interred in death. Yeah, of course. There's absolutely no King Arthur imagery in Warhammer 40k.
I mean, I looks over to the sister. Would it be rude to ask for food on another rogue trader's vessel? I don't really understand the etiquette.
So first off, I don't think it would be rude to ask for it. I would caution you that this rogue trader vessel has come from a very far distance and maybe bringing certain pathogens that you've never been exposed to for the entirety of your adult or even your entirety of your life. Something which is bland to them may be outright poisonous to you. It's hard to say. So it's always a gamble.
I don't remember reading anything about Patha. He pulls out his Guardsman primer and starts like flipping through. He's like,
you find it under the heading for Tyranids.
The pathogens?
Oh, they don't serve Tyranids on the ship, do they?
Wade looks very suspiciously at the Lord Captain. Not for the last 100 years. Not in any provable fashion.
If it was by accident.
Oh, well, I don't even really know what to ask for. What surprised me was something that doesn't have Tyranid in it.
No. Good luck with that.
Somewhere, I want to imagine in the dark holes, there's just like a group of Ogren whose job is Popper Oinker's perpetual stew, but with a hive tyrant, where they're like constantly ripping his ribs out. The hive tyrant's like,
just keep in mind that at some point during Rogue Trader, like orc spores were on the Hand of Calixtus, which means that orc spores are always in the Hand of Calixtus.
Of course, of course. There's definitely no way that will come back immediately during the inter-season short arc.
When were orcs on the Hand of Calixtus?
Yeah, we brought back shuttles full of orcs, right? We killed a fuck ton of orcs. Didn't we fight orc boarding parties and ship-to-ship combat?
Yeah, on our, what was the shuttle called? Not the shuttle, it was like a carrier thing.
Yeah, the cargo lifters.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was our personal fly deal. I can't remember what it's called in the moment. Doesn't matter. No, I recall now. I think that's when I had to pretty much, no, it was Nero that fought off the mech boy.
Right.
Because I fought the captain up in the Hulk.
With the arm.
When he soloed the orc captain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who could just cut me in twine soon as one hit made.
So
it was, go ahead.
I was going to say several staff, like kitchen staff, come in. And they are wearing gothically appropriate, like, full, like, chef's outfits, but they're all fully in black and are covered with badges and Sigilrian skulls. And the chef leans in and says, "Excuse me, Lord Rogue Trader, would you like us to prepare this man just a simple meal like a sandwich or something? Or perhaps we could put on a full 11-course dinner presentation for your guests?"
I can't believe you're asking me this question. Obviously, it's the latter. Why would you?
Of course. Shall we include the musical number?
Absolutely. They've been practicing for weeks for that.
Of course. I will inform the staff we will have costumes printed out.
Thank you.
They begin leaving. There's a clock that someone sets on the center of the table that begins ticking for like 40 minutes until dinner is ready. And Wade comes over and snatches your corpse starch bar and says, "Don't ruin your appetite!" And he throws it on the ground and begins stomping on it. Just totally pointlessly.
What a waste of Tabasco.
Wow. Incredible.
like luckily when we reacquired that Elysian resupply, it included an entire pallet of Tabasco sauce.
Ah, classic Elysian supply drop. An entire pallet of Tabasco.
It's a big 50-gallon drum.
I like to think that it's even packaged, like wrapped and strapped and packaged in those coffin equipment drop pods.
Oh god.
So that you can like orbital drop Tabasco in for the troops.
Steel rain activated. It doubles as a biological weapon. Just crack it open as it's falling so it sprays Tabasco over the local forces. 40 minutes later, an 11-course meal, including 2 appetizers, a salad, multiple meat dishes, and you're expected to eat like a quarter of what's on your plate before it's whisked away and given to somebody on the lower decks. So they're constantly like bringing you food, having you heartily eat it for 2 or 3 minutes, and then taking your plate away and putting something else in front of you. And it's finished off with the Calixian version of a beef Wellington. There is a whole musical number where the people serving you are also singing and dancing in the process. A full production. Lights are wheeled in order to Croc's Wellington. Lights are wheeled in. There's all sort of like, it's absolutely insane eating with a rogue trader. And the thing is that the whole time Pierre just looks incredibly bored. While these people are putting on like a full Broadway meets Cirque du Soleil show.
I've bought something for you. Obviously, we need to at some point discuss the business deal we were talking about before, but there's also, I'd be remiss if I didn't also raise the matter of the potential marriage of your scion into the Chaderius Darkwind line. I had some experts produce some artist interpretations of what the children of these two may look like, and I think you'll see that the genetics of your line clearly shows through. And I was like handing like a sheaf of like, you know, like crime scene artist style pictures of like potential. You know,
I would assume it's like courtroom sketches, so it's like really exaggerated, angular, and like shadowed.
Yeah, but they're all like done in like heroic poses,
oh,
like destroying the enemies of mankind.
There's a killers in the background as well.
Rassie has quietly pulled out his mess kit and opened it up, and he's like putting bits of meat and stuff in it off of each fish that he's eating.
Wade appears at your arm and he's like, "We can prepare a to-go box for you. There's no need to embarrass yourself with your silly little guardsman tin. Perhaps you'd like this prepared lunchbox. I made it for you personally."
Well, that's amazing. Thank you very much.
It's like it's like a fishing tackle box, you know. It's like 3 layers big, and when you open it, it opens diagonally.
Nice. This is amazing. Thank you, Mr. Wade.
Yes, it's just Wade. Wade the ill-tongued. And then he like goes backwards and disappears as like a server dancer moves past him. Like as that person's voluminous robes go past, he disappears. Wade is fully gone.
Are the plates monogrammed too?
Oh, of course they are.
I'm definitely swiping a small one.
That Mr. Wade is a very generous fellow.
You're looking over these.
I kind of like him.
You're looking over these pictures. They're nothing special to you. I mean, you have hundreds of descendants at this point. You know, they really just look like any of your other children, as far as you're concerned.
But I'm like pointing out. See how the genetics here really emphasize the ridge of your brow, like we see in most of your line. So it's in the order we call that the cow's brow.
I see. This is a first. I will let you know. I've seen this. Quite intriguing. I can't think of what to say at the moment.
Pondo's
sorry, I
completely
thought
lost.
this show would be a lot better than what it was. I'm sorry if you were bored. Things have gotten downhill since Near the Blade had stopped managing the sector. But
Wade appears and he's like, Nero's been dead for over 500 years.
Didn't he die at Cadia?
Yeah.
I think that was only a couple hundred years ago, wasn't it?
He died a couple of hundred years ago. It's been a long time, Lord Captain. You can't just keep remembering your first crew just because one of them will never die and the rest of them are always dead.
Listen, it's it's been a lot of years of off season. Okay, that's the last thing that's happened.
All right, great uncle. He claps his hand twice, and all of the servers leave, and you can tell they're crushed by the fact that the Lord Captain was like, I'm sorry this performance wasn't very good. They are like contemplating ritual unaliving themselves. Wade is
I
just
personally
just
enjoyed that show. Thank you.
Wade is following one of them, and he's like, yes, that's right. You don't measure up to the standards. You can't even reach my level. He's just like haunting this guy as he follows him out of the room.
I think we get a moment where Velamris is like sipping on some coffee and he kind of leans over to Rassie. He's like, I can absolutely see why he is called the ill tongue. What an asshole.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's just constantly there's just so, if he had a vibe, I would use the word oily.
I'm used to people talking to me like that all the time. Actually, I'm used to hearing people being a lot meaner than me. I don't know.
What's your guard? That's different. Like, this guy's
I don't mean
insidious.
I don't mean just, my leaders and my trainers, but, random people. I don't know.
I see
Are they
Wade
not
as a
like that to
very
you?
I see Wade as a very positive indictment of the Lord Commodore. I mean, there are stories that on Terra, the Emperor's guardians regularly practice attempting to assassinate the Emperor, so that they can work out every single way that the enemy's mankind might try to achieve such an end. Likewise, by keeping a ambitious, ill-omened, murderous servant around, always attempting to usurp his position, the Lord Commodore keeps himself always on edge, in a way that will see his senses never dull. Very intelligent.
Incredible how you've elevated him to the same level as the God Emperor. James, incredible.
That's Holly. That's Holly sucking ass again.
But even the sister gets it. This Wade guy's a pretty swell dude.
I like him.
Maybe
me too.
I'm the odd one out then. No, there's no maybe. I'm odd one out. I'm just gonna go back to sipping on my coffee.
He's incredibly dreadful to hang around with.
Incredibly what, sorry?
Dreadful.
Yeah.
It's more so he's still around due to obligation because he's still technically family. And he somehow is the long descendant of my brother who was killed by my mother.
Yes.
That's a different story.
Wow. Well, that just trumped my entire kinslaying as a sin thing that I was about to say. Mother killing your brother.
Well, there's a story behind that.
I'm sure there is. I'm totally not pulling out a data slate so I can start taking notes.
I'm sure it was for a very good reason.
You hear the electric whine of a approaching golf cart as a utility cart, like a UTV, but covered in skulls, arrives, and like a messenger, someone who literally spends their whole time running messages on the ship, approaches, and he comes forward in like a court page outfit that's got like a Elizabethan men's skirt of like alternating red and blue slices, and like the lace. He's got the puffy pirate shirt. He kneels down before the Lord Captain and presents a scroll that has the seal of House Stormrider on it. And he says, my lord, a message from Captain Stormrider.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
He holds the message up above his head.
I think you just take it out of his hands and read it.
You break the wax seal. It's from Captain Stormrider, and it just says, what's up? We're ready to begin the Gellerfield process at any time. Just give us the word. Love, Captain Stormrider. XOXOXO. And then it's got like a lipstick kiss. But this, just to be clear, this woman is one of your descendants. She's just really flirty with everybody.
Yeah, she's just the executive officer.
Yeah.
Three times named, so that's it.
Yeah, just by how not weird it's supposed to be, but it's still weird.
It's still weird.
Look, she's practicing to be a rogue trader herself one day.
That's fair, just not on me. Give her the go ahead.
Understood, Lord Captain. And he like rises and then begins like a formal procession walk back to the vehicle. But once he's in it, he's like pedal to the metal, a whole 12 miles an hour.
I was gonna say 3 miles an hour later.
You feel a slight jerk as about 20 minutes later, the ship begins moving underway to move towards the partially consumed warp maw that is the Space Hulk in the process of finishing warp transition. Wade comes
Rassie.
back in the room and he's just like, is there anything anyone needs? Perhaps you'd like me to open the portal hole to look out on the processions, Lord Captain. And as he says that, he's like putting on blinding goggles so he can't see anything. He's standing by a massive lever. Perhaps?
Lord Commodore, I don't know we said this before, but just for your awareness, the last time we were on the Space Hulk, we were attacked by a trader Astartes. So, which, where there's one, there may be more. Before you commit to keeping this thing in place, just be aware that it is not necessarily, its presence is not, it's not all boon. There may be some bane there as well.
Interesting.
There are also significantly confirmed reports of Drukhari Orc aboard.
Interesting.
And orcs.
One could argue a smart podge of all of the things that hate humanity.
I wonder if we can get the orcs to go for a manhunt to the traitors by voxing over there and telling them. Someone get on that, actually.
Wade like silently takes his hand off of the lever and he just goes, I'll just do the thing I did last time with the orcs and try to tell them that the Drukhari said that they smelled or something, that they wanted to have a battle.
Have them say the Drukhari called them weak gits.
Ah, yes, of course.
And say that they need to prove themselves by going after the big Umis.
Ingenious, Grand Uncle, ingenious. And then he begins like shuffling back out of the room. If you'll recall,
truly
he has
inspired,
shackles on his feet, so he's just like...
Your inspiration knows no bounds, Lord Commodore.
Here, here.
I sense sarcasm a little bit, but that's fine.
I was being sincere.
Rassie's flipping through the primer, like, okay, get.
Oh, yes, you're probably not familiar with their lingo. Once you hear it a few times, it's hard to get out of your head.
I can't say I've had occasion to listen to them speaking, Lord Commodore.
That's usually because they're yelling. Same word, profusely.
When we would raid them, it was usually a lot of unintelligible screaming, but they're quite dim, yes.
Space Marine! That's the best part of the whole game.
But there was a rumor around the regiment that Orc were just not intelligent enough for speech.
They are. It's a crude intelligence that is made from one site, for one thing in mind. It's getting into a good scrap, as what they call it.
I'd always heard it was unintelligible grunting that some people think it sounds like intended spoken words.
That might be
but it's really just animalistic growls.
Well, they are part animal, all of them.
I've never met an orc.
Well, The grots, the orcs, and the squigs are all from the same brood, just different forms.
At this point,
Disgusting
you
creatures.
see that there is a servo skull that proudly bears a symbol of the Adeptus Mechanicus on its forehead, and it's carrying like a little mini Vox speaker beneath it, and it clicks to life and says, "Lord Captain, Commodore, this is the engine seer. We have successfully activated the Geller field. It is remotely stabilizing the area of activity. Although while it is stabilized like this, we can no longer transition in either direction. The peril is over. For now."
Excellent, that'll buy us some time. The thing seems like it's about to go fully nuclear, essentially. Disconnect the Geller field and then let nature take its course.
Are you saying we should prepare the sacred atomic?
The House Atomics?
If it comes to nuking it, sure, but I think the warp will take it before that becomes necessary. I
You
could be
hear
wrong.
him bellow, "Prepare the sacred atomic!" And then there's like yellow flashing lights that descend in your room. And we hear from the bridge like, "Attention, the sacred atomic is being prepared. Attention, the sacred atomic is being prepared. All
They do.
hands, stand fast."
They get way too excited about that thing.
You can feel the ship shaking as someone is moving a like multi-100-ton atomic warhead onto its missile and then like loading the missile into a launcher.
Quite the production you've got here, Lord Captain. Commodore.
They like to make a show of it. I don't know why.
I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that this particular installation has a certain solar value that if it were simply destroyed prior to departing to the warp, it could cause some issues to do with compensation.
Compensation from what? What?
Well, we assume that it's currently going to the warp, but until it actually disappears, we don't know that because we're not warp mechanics.
Oh,
The spoils of this space hulk, while it's here, remain the property of Chaderius Darkwind.
interesting. Okay. I guess out of character, AP, or I guess would Pierre tell if this thing is going to the warp or not?
I mean, it's definitely in part of warp transition. It's just weird it hasn't finished.
I see. So something is definitely also keeping it here.
Well, now you're keeping it here for sure.
Well, yes.
It's something
else
slowly
was-
pulling it into the warp, but whatever it is it's not like a ship going into the warp. It's just
Yes.
slowly falling into it, like quicksand. Warp
It's like
sand.
it's getting transitioned from the inside out, essentially.
I'm just trying to establish a line here that if the space hulk gets destroyed, that Darkwind has an opportunity to sue cows for damages.
You've accepted
Turn it into-
responsibility for the vessel
Turn
while
it
you've been
into-
towing it.
File an insurance claim on a space
Ye-
hulk.
You can certainly try.
The battle between their lawyers would last a century. Several of them would intermarry.
All I could say is that I have more money than he is. And if he wants to bring down litigation, I'll bring it down with him.
Is this a bank off? It sounds like a
It's
bank
always
off.
a bank off.
This sails right over Rassie's glossed over eyes.
Wade comes back in and goes, "Lord Captain, all has gone according to your plan." I've been
Thank you,
hearing
Wade.
this sister of the ecclesiarchy talking about fulfilling the marriage contract. Perhaps you'd like to go to the rogue trader's office. I could go with you and maybe take a look around his offices in the process. Perhaps ask a few questions. Leave behind a few devices.
Is he saying this out loud to them?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think I've strongly established that Wade is really bad. He is consistently always plotting evil, but he's just really bad at it.
But giving away his own plots.
Yeah.
I have the perfect guide for Mr. the Ill-Tongued.
So you want to be an
In
assassin?
the back alley, is that your perfect guide too?
No. He's interested in seeing the Darkwind trade house's operations. I'm more than happy to show it to him, and I know just the right person to show him
I'm
around.
so worried by what you're going
I'm
to say.
curious and worried too.
It's getting worse by every second.
Is it Hoplite days?
I feel like I
That
need
would
to
be a
accommodate
punishment
you.
Domo.
for Hoplite, for sure.
I was thinking the Major Domo might end up looking an awful lot
Yeah.
like Wade.
See, the implication of what your words are is very concerning, and I do have worry about his own health. But
No, I've already clarified. I like Wade. I seek no harm in him, and I'm here trying to negotiate the joining of these two houses. I'm not trying to cause strife or problem. I think I know the right person to cater to Wade's unique needs.
okay, I'll trust you on this, sister.
Shall we take a shuttle back to the station then?
Absolutely.
All right, so while we get our Mass Effect 2 style loading scene for
I swipe
shuttle
a-
down to planet,
I want to swipe a monogram napkin from the table.
they just give it to you on your way out. They
Okay,
give
well-
you a gift bag with like a toothbrush,
Does it have the rock gut
toothpaste.
in it?
Sorry, does have what?
What is it? The rock gut? There was a wine or booze or something that
Oh,
you guys
yes,
were
of
giving out all the
course.
time.
Yes, they have the locally produced wine. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it was called though.
They have a bottle of the wine. It's literally like a plastic bag full of. So you visited the Hand of Calixis, like parting gift bags, and at the bottom is a little dangling keychain of his mom that you wanted to put on the end of your gun.
Is there
Now,
enough
now
extra
both my
space?
guns have keychains.
Is there enough extra space in the gift bag for me to put my T-shirt and my autographed action figure?
No, it's totally full already.
Okay, so I've got those under one arm and this bag with the other. All the
It looks like we
guns
went on a
dangling off their
shopping
harnesses, bouncing around.
So the action figure, by the way, is absolutely 100% Imperial propaganda. It doesn't sound anything like Pierre, and the voice lines are like, "Death to the enemies of the Imperium," or like, "I'll deal with this problem the Commissar's way," and then like you hear the sound of a or what do they use? A bolt pistol? You hear a bolt pistol firing, like.
Amazing.
It's the double bang of the gun going off and then the round going off. The second bang sounds wetter. That's all.
Rassie like pushes the button and hears it. Goes, "That's a very comforting sound."
After the button press is done, you see on the back there's like a little explanation, and it says that the sound of a heretic dying to the bolt pistol round was ethically sourced by an enemy of the Imperium.
Amazing.
Only traitors were harmed in the creation of these sound effects.
All right, we're going to take our first break, and when we get back, we're going to get down to business, writing up this contract in the Rogue Traders office building. Stick around for that second part. We have returned. All of you are gathered in the office room with all of your desks pushed up against each other. You can see Gropsis is outside doing the like mopping. Liturgical is looking half dead, seated at his managerial seat, trying to welcome Pierre Cals, but also like, "I apologize. I've been greatly weakened by recent ordeals. And also being near so many pariahs around the station. I have no idea where someone could be hiding hundreds of pariahs, but the pain of being near them is incredibly intense.
I'm in the room.
Yes, you are, I can tell.
I need to make a discipline roll then.
This is gonna get bad.
Let's do it.
You can do it with advantage because I'm there.
Murder your boss.
Oh, that's good. I'll take that advantage because I might have to spend all 3 of these to reroll.
Let's see if he goes feral. Let's see if someone goes feral, you just kneecap him real quick. That's all you need to do.
Care cows is good for that. You have your bracer of pistols, right? Your bandolier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rolled a
natural one.
apparently.
I resist the urge to murder liturgical because he exists.
I don't even think you get the urge with a 1. I think it's just like the ideas are like, nah, I'll do it later.
Oh, I mean, it's very specific that I curb my enthusiasm, but the hatred is definitely still there.
There's
Instead-
also the guilt of putting this man through his now vegetated state.
Yeah, and also signing off on a chaos sorcerer to heal him. That part, remember that part? Instead, you get the urge for herbal. You just have an intense need to wash your hair.
Wait,
Wow, that got these guys. Both of them. Got both of them.
It's so dirty all of a sudden.
You think that guile hair happens naturally? That requires maintenance.
It does.
Wade the Ill-Tongued, allow me to introduce you to our Superintendent Gropsis. He knows every nook and cranny of this operation. He'll be able to give you a tour of this facility.
Okay.
I was wondering who you were going to give them to.
I figured it was either going to be Gropsis or Heplite. Those are really
I
the
was
two.
thinking Hoplite or that one nerd lady librarian.
The Savant.
Yeah.
You can't even remember her name.
No, I can't. It was so long
Gropsis-
ago.
Gropsis is so likable. There's less chance that
He is
From a-
likable. Wade's just like, for some reason, I feel like I can really confide all of my evil plans with you. And Gropsis just looks up at him and goes, Gropsis?
Amazing.
So the two of them are having a quiet chat out in the hallway.
All right. Liturgical, I don't
Displeased to be in
know
the room.
what your perception is given the presence of Rassie, but we have the Lord Commodore Pierre Cowles here with us to talk about business between the two houses.
Incredible.
Did you want to
How did you secure his services to be here?
send a letter? Did you want to stay, or would you rather go and rest? We have this.
Oh, as your supervisor, I should definitely oversee this. I apologize for anything that they have offered you, Lord Captain. This team can be unpredictable.
I find our unpredictability is actually one of our stronger suits.
He just
Rassie
stares at you
shrugs
through the
his-
blindfold.
Yeah, exactly.
You say that, and Rassie shrugs his shoulders, causing the grenade bandoliers to jiggle.
Turgical, do you need some more oranges? You're looking a little bit peckish.
I can't tell what you're talking about. Surely you aren't talking about the highly
Narahi fruit.
illegal Narahi fruit.
Oh, I didn't realize it was illegal. I wouldn't have said that if I had known that. Velamris would have known. I don't remember shit.
Oh, I mean, it's sold on the station. I didn't think it was that illegal.
Yeah.
I
Sold
mean,
in the
was
trade house.
sold by the people who work for the dude with the Halo device.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
it was sold on the part of the station which is outside the Imperium.
Yes.
Ah,
So, Lord Commodore, I guess there's two core topics of conversation. One is the assistance to tow the estates somewhere safe, and the other is the matter of potential marriage. Where would you like to start?
How about the incentive to tow the estates?
Very well. As I'd indicated when we spoke previously, I don't know that we necessarily have, without knowing what it is that your Dynasty needs. I don't know if we necessarily have something that you are specifically already looking out for. We have things that we can offer that have value, but I believe that the real point of this conversation is that by assisting Darkwind, the Darkwind dynasty in this matter, you have established a line of favorable business. The fact that we can then wrap that in an agreement, in an exchange of goods, simply makes it a transaction rather than an outright favor. But it does mean that our two houses have a context for ongoing relations as both houses explore the expanse beyond the Emperor's Light, and both houses find things going forward that the other would be interested in learning more about or possessing potentially. So that I can see, provided we can offer you something that you believe is to the value of the assistance you're offering, even if it's not something you outright need right now, that should be a suitable estate with a view to future business opportunities.
The main point of interest I'd like as far as negotiation would be I understand that your rogue trader has quite a retinue of others that have lost their ship or are waiting to get a new one.
That's correct. We have a number of guests staying on the Archipelago at the pleasure of the rogue trader.
Yes, my interest in those, as they are warrants that can help expand my operation as well.
Did you have specific individuals or a number in mind?
What is there a specific number, AP, that he has?
Tell me.
Well, I think he's asking how many are there.
Oh,
out of
I
character.
believe it was somewhere in the. I thought you were asking how many you wanted. I believe it's somewhere north of 20. I think we said like a 24 or something.
Oh, let's shoot for a nice even number. How about 10?
Was there a specific 10 or?
Were there certain qualities you were looking for, perhaps, Lord Commodore?
I'd be happy to provide you with a genetic breakdown. I can't speak much more to that without doing some research we may not have within the time frame we need. But
while you all are talking, just something about the vibe of the room, like maybe the light outside has changed. Maybe it's just like the station coming off of emergency alert now that they're no longer in process of warp transition. But something makes like the shadows in here feel like sharper and darker. And there's just like a sense of unease for everybody but Rassie, who completely unaffected in any way. I mean, the shadows change for you, but you don't feel unease any more than you normally do.
I wonder if Robertus has gotten back.
I think
the time frame at the moment, there's no specific individuals amongst the number.
Rassie will quietly get up and like go out in the hallway and find a technician.
You go out to the hallway, and as you go out there, you see like Gropsis and Wade are having their conversation, and as this is happening, there's the sound of someone like with good boots on and like a cane, like walking sharply, coming from, you know, like it's in a hallway like around a corner coming towards you, and you can like hear they're approaching, and every tap of the cane appears to happen every 1 second, like on the dot perfectly. Gropsis begins like looking around. He looks up at you. He goes, and he runs into a nearby vent and begins like scrambling. He's a little rat man who begins scrambling his way through the vent. And Wade goes, "Well, it would appear you scared my new friend away." Ugh.
Apologies, Mr. Wade. I did not mean to.
For everyone still in the room that's having a conversation, you begin watching as the clocks in the room start slowing down. And Velamris, you have this strange feeling of fear in your soul. It's not coming from you. It's coming from those runes that have seared themselves into your soul. You know, the one of Tzeentch and Slaanesh.
Yes.
They're backing away from something, and you start hearing a ticking noise in your soul, and it's starting to pervade your thoughts.
So to be clear, so I know what you're saying is these, let's just say, essences of Slaanesh and Tzeentch are in my soul, like retreating.
Yes.
From the clockwork.
Yes.
Okay, that's disturbing, and all I can hear right now is the tick tick, and I am visibly disconnected from the conversation now.
Is there
liturgical? Is this your doing, liturgical?
Liturgical is just like, it's coming. It's coming. The end. The end. Don't you see it? See it.
Liturgical, get yourself in gear. Get a grip.
Now, Kain,
I apologize, Lord Commodore.
What
This
you
is most
see
unusual.
is a
there like
man coming around the corner. He's wearing like knee-high boots, loose pants. He has a bolter pistol strapped into a leather holster at his belt, like a black uniform jacket with the old style like British naval buttons. He's got a Rogue Traders emblem with the full Aquila on it, but he's wearing it upside down. And a sword, red cybernetic eye, absolutely fantastic Fabio style black curly hair. And he's carrying before him a pocket watch that he's holding out. And he opens the watch up, and you can see that it's ticking backwards. And Wade is like looking at you and looking at him and goes, "Who's this? Who is this individual? I don't recognize you. Are you from our ship?" The man is approaching you, Rassie, and he says, "So, a pariah."
I'm sorry, sir, a what?
You're something of a problem. I'd prefer it if you left. I have an appointment. And he's like walking towards you, just casually holding his watch out. What happens is Wade moves away from you. And when he gets to about the distance away from you that people get annoyed when you get close to them, Wade's face bursts out into a red skin, like rigid pig's face. He gets a bunch of wings, and is holding a spear all of a sudden. He appears to have turned into a full-on daemon and begins flying up through the ceiling and like grabbing people and is like, this guy is still approaching you with the watch out.
So Wade has just turned into a demon.
Yeah, Wade has turned into a lesser demon. He's turned into a fury of chaos.
Okay.
Okay, this escalated.
I don't have any rolls. And I take it that anything that I might be able to glean from a lore roll would probably be a forbidden one.
It would be a forbidden one.
Okay.
I don't think you need to have a lore roll to know that this is really bad.
Right. I'm trying to...
I feel like the next words are going to be roll initiative.
Well, Rassie's trying to connect the two events together. That maybe... Because he knows about his distance because he saw the frost on the ground. So he's trying to connect that Wade's transformation. He's trying to connect if that's connected to the gentleman with the watch.
Now that he's getting closer, you can see that he's got a scar with like 3 gash marks over his eye. And he stands just outside the range of your like bubble of interference. And he says, "If you'll excuse me, I'd like you to take a step back so I can go in the room. As I mentioned," and he like jiggles the chain and the clock face begins going the correct direction again. He says, "I have an appointment with a man in the room."
All guests within the trading house are escorted to locations. Where is your escort, sir?
It's so appropriate because I had a meeting about that.
You start hearing like screams, not just from the floor above you where Wade is like absolutely going to town, like spearing 3 people and just like grabbing their guts out and like hanging them with their own viscera and gore. You can hear other screams coming from like the security office, the garage, from the canteen. Like clearly there is some sort of full-fledged demonic invasion going on right now.
Right. Like Rassie is aware of that, but he's also aware that a rogue trader is the guest of the rogue trader.
Yes.
And that is the most important thing to protect in the building right now.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, where's, all guests are escorted throughout the facility. Where is your escort, sir? As he's reaching for a weapon.
He looks at you reaching for a weapon and smiles, and something about his smile looks somewhat familiar to you, and he says, "Don't think you're paltry and pathetic. Was that rifle made by squats? I haven't seen them since 2nd edition. I suppose they're back now. So curious what the hands of fate can bring us."
I'm sorry, sir, but I do need an answer to the question.
My appointment is not with your rogue trader. It is with fate itself. So just to be clear, the rest of you can hear this conversation going on outside. Liturgical is having a full-on fucking meltdown. The thing is, you can't see the person that Rassie's talking to. Rassie is in the door, and this guy's around the corner.
At this point, I'm going to guess Pierre's kind of figured out what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's probably having the same ticking in his soul, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, Velamris has got his guns out and is kind of standing near Liturgical to kind of bodyguard him a little bit. And I'm looking to the door, and then every now and again looking back to Pierre, almost as if like I need some guidance or something, because right now anybody coming in that door is going to get blasted.
Are there other doors out of this room as well?
No. I mean, there are windows if you want to jump out, like a 2nd-story window, but there's no other doors. There's like a little utility closet that we've mentioned a couple times if you want to like
throw Liturgical in there.
Yeah, get into the filing cabinet room for sure.
I think Pierre at this point is like, well, seems like it is my time after all. He'll just walk over and open the door.
Oh, so the door's already open, but when you walk towards it, you definitely see Erasmus HAARLOCK talking to this Imperial Guardsman.
A long time no see. Looks like you haven't aged a day.
Velamris is like, what the fuck is going on?
I hardly consider you one of my children, but using your blood may allow me to reach my goals. Is the device here? The Pharos device? Has this rogue trader Chaderius Darkwind returned with it yet?
That's why you're here.
Lord Commodore, is this an enemy of yours?
Yes and no. Kind of hard to explain.
Is there a short version so we can know if we need to shoot him or not?
Well, I mean, technically speaking, this is my... How to put it? I believe it's my papa.
So what happens is he reaches a hand through Rassie's bubble of interference to grab your throat. And as his hand goes into the area of that, you see that this is not a human arm in any way, shape, or form. It is a thing of shadow and nightmares, but somewhere beneath this roiling, moving mass of like infinite sort of like, if you stare at it enough, the shadows are like snowflakely fractal. There's just little patterns coming off of them. And you think that if you look at the patterns, there are patterns in the patterns. But somewhere at the core of it, there's something mechanical and clockwork. And it's so strange as like human shoulder, strange, weird arm in the anti-warp bubble, human hand grabs your throat.
Well, I already have my hands on my weapon. If he's making a move on me, I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
Whether it does anything or not, it's immaterial to Rassie.
I mean, he doesn't even
He's
dodge.
just-
You just shoot him.
No rolls shoot. Okay.
no rolls necessary.
No rolls necessary. I mean,
yeah,
No,
he
it's-
has
that's not a
unnatural
good sign.
resistances. I mean, you shoot him, and whatever his actual form is beneath the veneer of being human certainly has taken no operational damage from this weapon. And he growls and he says, "You are no spawn of mine, stolen from my genetics by harlots and sinners, those who deny the true power of this universe. I have been to places that are deeper and more vast that even the chaos gods will not go to. Reality is how I believe it." And he's picking you up with one hand in a choke slam, and he goes, "Your time has come. My time will be here soon. Whatever your name is, whelp, you will be used at an altar of sacrifice, and soon all time will be one."
Is he picking up
Commodore?
He's picking
Get
up
out of the
Rassie.
block!
No, he's not picking up Rassie. He's picking up Pierre Cowles.
Okay.
It's
Did he
like,
reach
well-
like through me to get
Yes,
to him?
he's
Yeah.
reaching through your bubble of interference, which is why you can see that he's not really
Oh.
human. He's
He's
like
a fractal of a
weird,
fractal.
shadowy warp automaton.
I guess this is an attack on our guest, our honored guest. Rassie's gonna reach to just let go of the las gun, reach to the bandolier and pull 2 crack grenades.
Okay.
I mean, I'm playing a guardsman, and he's
Yeah.
a dedicated one. And he's going to like pop the pins,
Go for the hug.
and he's going to tuck them to his chest, and he's going to go for the hug to try to shield the Lord Commodore from the
But
blast.
are you gonna hug him as a Christian?
As a true man of the Imperium, yes.
I mean, this is an attack on the Lord Commodore. He's got to do something.
As
you
you're
damn fool.
attempting to do this, he brings Pierre so that Pierre is between you and him.
This is just the ramblings of an old man who failed to protect the ones he loved. He has decided to seek the forbidden knowledge in order to try to bring them back. For what device he's claiming to seek,
I
make sure he
just
does not
assumed
get
this
it.
whole time Kane is standing there with like the pins out, ready to let the spoons go or whatever.
Well, he's trying to find some angle to
I
get
mean, this
around,
guy
you
is
know?
just constantly, just one-handedly, again, choke slamming Pierre while Pierre's like, "He's a sad man, my father. A divorced dad. Get remarried, loser."
The grenades won't work, by the way. You need something a bit more holy.
I think
More holy. Oh, you say
Sister
that?
Holly.
No, you say that, and he puts a pin back in one of the crack grenades, snaps it to his belt, and pulls out his stub revolver
Okay.
That bullet.
with the one bullet that had the Inquisition bullet.
Okay.
He thinks it's special.
This
he
guy
has
has-
no idea if it is or not.
This guy has full-on ignored everything you're doing. He truly believes he can't be harmed by anything that you do.
Well,
Do it,
because
Kane. Do
I'm
it.
gonna point the stub revolver at his head and
Sure.
see if the Inquisition bullet does anything.
I'm going to need a roll from you at -40.
Jesus.
I mean, you're
what kind
aiming
of
a
roll?
weapon.
Does he get a +10 for being told to do it better?
Are you
Does he
telling
get a
him to
plus-
do it better?
Well, you did say use something more holy, so
Okay.
Does he also?
Sure,
He's also within
minus
arm's
30.
reach, so that should be like a +10 or something, shouldn't it?
Being at point blank range, but not being in melee.
let's
Well, it's a pistol. It's gonna have the close trait,
Oh, that's true.
but
Ultimately, I
you should
don't
get like a
think it's gonna do
+10 for
anything,
being
but-
super
Minus
close.
20. We'll just
Try it,
listen,
Rassie.
guys. We'll use whatever rules you want to. We'll roll through this. You go ahead.
Now you should
Spend-
make one for +10.
Spend it for an aiming so you can do a cold shot without taking the penalty.
Yeah.
No, there's no chance he's going to let you spend a full round aiming when you're holding a gun to his head. Come on now.
All right, I am going to spend a fate point to get advantage.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend a fate point to get +10, and then I'll only get +10.
Oh no, I'm going to keep those other 2 for rerolls because if
Okay.
it's bad, it'll be really bad.
So just to be clear,
like that. I will
you
spend fate to reroll.
feel something rolling out of you to spend your fate point, and you become aware that like whatever protection of the Emperor you have, whatever luck you've borne in this world, it doesn't apply here. When you're near this person, it doesn't work. You can't spend fate points when you're next to him.
What the fuck?
Okay, I'll put those back.
He grabs Pierre out of the bubble and just begins walking away. And as you're watching, because again, Holly and Velamris are still in the room with Liturgical, who, by the way, is like blood is spouting from his mouth and he's having a seizure and is definitely dying. And all you can hear him say is the end, the time. You still have not actually seen this guy without going through the bubble. But for you, Rassie, you watch as Pierre's movements become slower and slower, and the color is drained out of him until he's monochromatic. And at that point, this rogue traitor / traitor / Damon closes his pocket watch, and Pierre Cowles just sort of disappears into a smoke. And this guy goes around a corner, and he turns into smoke as well, and just transitions into the warp. And all you can hear is the voice of Erasmus HAARLOCK going, "Thank you for stabilizing the door. I couldn't have gotten here otherwise."
Motherfucker.
I have no idea what that means.
By the way, you absolutely shot him in the head, just to be very clear. It just,
Yeah, it did nothing.
it like hit him, and he, again, was completely unaffected by it.
You fool, you used a Xeno killing gun.
So I have notes here that say that when Holly and Velamris see HAARLOCK, they immediately make a test against for corruption. But fucking Kain walked outside and put himself in a way so that they never actually saw HAARLOCK in his actual demonic form at any point. So fuck me, I guess. I've been waiting like 3 months to be like, that's right, I'm gonna give Velamris, I'm gonna corrupt his ass.
I went out there to find a tech to be like, hey, go check on the lights because it's a little dark in the room. That was what I was doing.
Only
Like, I don't
Velamris
know what this
can
is.
corrupt Velamris, okay?
Oh, you'll get it eventually. You're a Call of Cthulhu player in the 40K universe. You're gonna get it.
Spondo, I feel like we're going to do an early end episode for you, and then we'll continue the episode with the cast, like the last hour with the cast. But hey, thanks for joining us. You've become the MacGuffin for the rest of the campaign. Getting Pierre Cowles back is the new meta arc goal. Thanks so much for coming
we
on.
still got to worry about getting this damn space hole thing
Yeah, there's all sorts of
it,
problems, but yeah.
Isn't it, can't we make, who's next in line? Can't we make a deal with them instead? Like,
But Pierre Cowles is still alive. You can't just make deals while he's alive.
I don't.
Somebody should be the rogue trader pro tem.
There are various states of alive.
There's a special device.
The state he left us in did not look very promising.
And
It
yet,
definitely looked like he was dead.
I might have seen someone fall off a cliff. I don't know how to hit the bottom, but I can assume that what happened.
There's a special device on Pierre's ship that's linked to his vitals that says he's still alive.
yes, there we go. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's
There's
called
the
the atomic.
It's Wade's.
When he
It's not
dies, he
even-
blows his own ship up. What a fucking way to go.
And we still have Wade, the fucking ill-tongued demon bitch.
No, he's not the
wandering
only
around.
lesser demon running around right now, but
Yeah.
well,
Pondo.
I wanted to give you another chance to play Pierre and to really help tie together all the storylines for Sister Holly. Thank you so much for coming to be a very bored Pierre Cowles suffering from
amazing.
success.
I personally, I still love the whole let's talk shit to the Inquisitor because fuck that guy. That was funny as hell. It's like, all right, here we go. We're gonna dance with the Inquisitor right here in the parking lot.
We're gonna suffer so much for that conversation.
Oh yeah, we are. Pondo, I definitely enjoyed you being here, man. It was really good stuff, man.
It was fun. It was interesting.
I tried, but the plot was too strong.
No,
I don't often do
Let's not-
cutscenes. Like, I almost never do cutscenes. And
That's
here
true,
you
that's
are
true.
trying to interrupt my beautiful cutscene by walking into a fucking hallway.
Here he is trying to interrupt the murder of fucking Pierre Cowles
It's
by
not the
being a player
murder.
character.
He needs Pierre as a sacrifice and as a trading tool.
Yeah,
Didn't you
yeah.
hear? He needs the Pharaoh's
I got
device.
you.
It's very
I got you.
important.
I was using smaller words like
Okay.
murder.
Well, Rassie
I-
has a
I-
new long-term goal.
I knew what was going to happen from, like, I think it was pretty much day one.
Yeah.
When AP asked me, I was like, do you want to come in and be Pierre Cowles for a little bit at some point in the future? I was like, sure. Not sure what we're going to do, but I'll be there.
I thought I told you immediately that I needed you to get HAARLOCKed.
No,
Yeah,
you told me
Harlock.
that, but I meant, like, in the meantime, until that happened.
Yes. Well, you're a game master, and a former rogue trader player. I assumed you could enter. Like I said last episode, I'm the tired dad, and you're the babysitter taking care of the kids.
And he fed us. He fed us and gave us a show.
Yeah, we got a shitload of Pierre Cowles swag.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh fuck ton of
That's a
it.
given.
Imagine the value they're going up now that he's been captured by a warp
Yeah,
entity.
Oh man, everything with either the PC or the Pierre Cowles name on it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all limited edition now. So
It's going quick, unlike Pierre Cowles, who's captured in time stasis.
That's probably fine. Listen, he's going to come back and live long enough to see the wedding, and then he's going to croak.
Just die at the wedding.
I mean, I've already guaranteed that the rescue of Pierre Cowles and the wedding won't happen until the series finale of this show. So just to string James all along as long as possible. Because if I let him make a new goal, I'm really afraid of what he'll work towards. I know if I keep him on this goal, at least there's some guide rails.
hey, my goal is not the wedding. My goal right now is to join the Rogue Trader service permanently.
Yeah, right. But you're using the vehicle.
Yeah.
I like that vehicle. Because I know where it's going. I know what
Okay.
roads it can drive on.
Yeah, that's why I said before. And whose wedding are we talking about specifically? Because it may not be the one you think it is.
Oh, Jesus. Of course, it's the marriage of Erasmus HAARLOCK and the goddess Aisha. Yeah. They both have to get remarried because, their loved ones are dead.
No, she's married currently, Aisha.
Is she?
She's married. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a Nurgle.
Oh.
Is that official? I know. I keep seeing stuff about.
He treats us like it's official.
Oh, okay, well
That's
that's
official
normal,
enough.
so-
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's an unconventional relationship.
Anything involving chaos is unconventional. So yeah.
I think it's implied but because it's chaos.
Isha, it's like Isha and Nurgle. It's like Slaanesh and the Eldar.
Well, Pondo, let's get you out of here so we can go back to using the real overlays.
All right.
Thank you so much for
Goodbye.
joining us. Are we going to snap into place? Perfect. Amazing. I'm a genius. Before we cut to our break, we have a black screen. The black screen becomes a CRT monitor with like a blinking green DOS prompt. And as we pull back from that, we see Belisarius Cawl standing, looking at the screen, and then looking over at a clock next to the screen. And the clock is stopped. Belisarius Cawl puts his hands, what passes for hands, for a super Archmagos dominant of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and says, "Time has come." And now we're going to go on break, now that I've done really cryptic, warpy shit that I don't know if it's fully understood by the audience, and I'm trying to imply a lot of dark stuff. I don't know. I don't want to over-explain it, but I definitely want my intent to be understood. It's always a problem. We'll be back in 5 minutes for the final part of this episode. So, you all are tired and exhausted from an hour of shooting demons. You've had to reload several times. You're all covered in blood. In the background, Holly is like consoling people who have watched their coworkers turn into demons and then they themselves have gone like nearly insane. Their mind breaking under the truths of reality.
Were we able to save liturgical? Because that was maybe the first.
No,
time
he's dead. He's absolutely dead. His time has come.
Damn it!
He's dead, man.
More importantly, did we save Gropsis?
You find that Gropsis drops out of a vent. He's got his little rat teeth around a knife, combat knife, and he's wearing a bandana that looks like it's made out of one of the office workers' ties. He drops down. He's fully naked now, but he's a little rat dude, so everything's covered in hair. And he drops down next to Rassie, and he's like back to back with Rassie with this little knife thing. He's like, "Arr." Now that the fighting's over, he's 100% present.
So we didn't need to save him. He saved himself by hiding.
Yeah.
Anyone here old enough to remember Gremlins 2?
Yes. I don't remember. I don't remember much specifically.
Which Gremlins? Not like, are you old enough to remember Gremlins? Because for sure, my audience age rating, you know, the 18 to 47 range, for sure, the majority of them remember Gremlins.
Yeah, but just the where Gizmo decides to, like, you know, suit up as Rambo, like, ties the red wrapping ribbon around his head as a bandana.
Yeah.
You know, makes a bow out of a paperclip.
Yep.
So
this is one of those moments where we're checking what little bit of ammo we got left. We're reloading our weapons. We're like, well, that was a shit show. And then we continue on with the rest of the session. Is that what's going on here?
Rassie just grimly and dramatically slowly tops off his combat shotgun.
You can see that the daemon that became, or the Wade that became a daemon is nearby. Like, someone has shoved his own spear into his chest as this Fury of Chaos is like bleeding out on the ground, and like wherever his blood touches, fire springs up. But yeah, everything here is dead, and their bodies are slowly dissolving back into the warp.
Can I shoot Wade one more time in the head?
It feels good.
It does.
Even inside Rassie's anti-warp bubble, it still feels good. That's how you know it's a real feeling.
So I'm going to assume, by the way, the servitor skull was with us the whole time.
Yes.
So presumably the Inquisition know what's just happened here.
Yes.
Sorry?
We should contact. Oh God, it's in my notes. The Major Domo.
Inquisitor Profundus.
Inquisitor the Major Domo. My thoughts exactly, because I need to contact him and tell him that the rogue trader of the Chaos Dynasty entered our place of business along with one of his aides, and now both of them are dead.
We should probably let the rogue trader.
No. Which rogue trader? Which rogue? Our rogue trader or the?
No. I meant we should let the Seneschal aboard the Hand know what's happened.
No, we should not do anything of the like until we have discussed this internally. He said, as far as anyone else is concerned, Pierre Cowles is still here until we determine what our line's going to be, because it could be particularly bad if they decide that we
need
somehow...
to decide.
So the three of you
that out quickly
are standing in like a heroic bubble that makes it clear that your player characters and everyone around you is NPCs. Like, just the fact that you're like, somehow you're in a slightly elevated position and you can see regular office workers wearing modern day like business suits, ties, dress shirts, like pencil skirts and such, pinstripes, just like looking out of the devastated rubble of the office where demon-sized holes of like winged beasts have flown through walls, like reality warping fire is still burning in the background, and people are like looking up at you, and you're like, we need to pretend that the rogue trader is still here, and people are like nodding to each other like this is the first episode of Lost, and all of the background characters are all like, yes, Pierre Cowles is still here. Pierre Cowles is still here, and we're still here too. Yeah, like people are cheering. They're like, Sister Holly, Sister Holly.
All right. I'm going to reach out and call the Major Domo. Rassie, could you get an account of who is alive and who is dead here?
Yeah.
Particularly like the people we know and care about, like Hoplite. I don't know, who else do we care about? That librarian.
The mousy lady whose name I can't remember.
Savant.
I want to grab surviving security forces.
Okay.
And I'm going to put them in groups so they can self-police for any signs of mutation or heresy.
Okay. So
And
the
then-
first thing to note is that a full third of the rogue traders staff in this building are dead, and the huge majority of which were the security forces. Because they were guarding the front door and responded immediately to the incident of a guy walking in and demonifying people, and then they themselves were demonified. Like, the security forces have 100%
They've absolutely
suffered
been
like near
destroyed.
full losses.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, I'd like to speak to the remaining security forces, and it's like 3 guys who were in the garage.
And they're
Who's
all
in charge here?
privates.
You
Okay.
are,
They're all
sir.
privates.
I'm gonna grab the 3 of them then.
Okay.
I'm gonna put 2 of them at the front door, so we have some sort of entry control. And I'm gonna take the spare with me, and we are gonna go department by department and do an accounting of losses, and we're going to check people for for like mutations or other heretical behaviors, so we can make sure that the loss number is correct when we leave the department.
Okay.
And Rassie's probably going to be very busy traveling around the building.
If nobody has anything specific for Velamris, he's going to be assisting in that endeavor.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Sister Holly, do you require the assistance of Velamris?
No, you can take him.
All right.
No,
you're
please
with
get
me
him out of
then.
my sight. That's all I
Yeah.
heard, James.
You're
So-
with me.
Yeah, Holly, you're looking over some of the survivors. You can see the garage chiefs, Chief Tyrrell, Dr. Yiannopoulos, the savant that you know, the doorman for the building, Schreiber, who we've met exactly once. They're all
He's the
like,
one that brought us the mail, isn't he?
yes, all of the people that, all of the NPCs you know that haven't died on camera are all like gathering together.
People with names survive.
People with names survive. Hoplite is there as well. They're all gathering
what
together.
about
near you.
the cheating team that almost won the basketball?
No, they're all dead.
The
We
garage
didn't get
band?
names.
The garage band?
As I go department by department, I find the surviving ranking person in each department, and they're to do a full accounting of personnel and equipment.
Okay.
So we can see what the full losses
I'd
are. for
love
trading
some
us.
sort of leadership check from you, which I'm pretty
Sure.
sure is a skill in this system.
I have leadership.
Great.
We're going to put up a sign on the notice board to say that the musical is delayed.
I'm sure that's right up there with battle loss. It's like find out survivors, get accountability of shit that's lost, delay the musical.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. Okay. You are not a motivational speaker. In fact, people hate being around you. But at this moment, you have a sort of rock solid and steady presence. People are uneasy around you, but there's a familiarity to you. And I think there's an unconscious recognition that you are the opposite of everything that just happened here. Like, I think as you walk along, like, walls that are being turned into flesh and bleed, like, immediately revert back into Rockcrete or whatever this system's version of Ferrocrete is. Just you moving through the area reverses the effects of the warp on this area. And whether people recognize that consciously or not, they definitely recognize it unconsciously. And so you draw people to you, and you're easy to understand, straightforward orders, organization, trying to keep chains of command intact, 100% works. And I mean, you got a +1 there. Just people are pulling themselves together, and the business of running this place isn't quite back underway, but the building and its people will recover.
Okay. I'll come back with the personnel reports, and all the department heads understand that they have 4 hours to submit their material losses.
Rassie, Velamris, some guy arrives you've never seen. Holly, the major domo arrives.
I think I met him like the first time.
You've not seen this.
Oh,
major
no,
domo.
you're right. I've not seen this body. I've met the major domo, just not this particular form.
Okay. I mean, seeing a stranger walk into a room, I start pulling up the shotgun.
Yeah,
Okay.
same. I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, wait, we don't know who this guy is, and we just got invaded. Yeah, who are you?
I'm
you
the
doing?
major domo of the Rogue Trader. We've met before, Velamris.
Do you have any... Okay, cool. Anybody can know my name. It's actually a
He
little
turns
weird.
to look at Sister Holly and clears his throat.
It's fine, Velamris. No, true.
I don't normally come out in public except for emergencies.
I don't... That's not the same face. What?
He moves towards you, and you see something moving under his skin.
That's not... I'm going to go make a sandwich.
He looks you in the
or
face
something.
and he says...
Rassie, do you want a sandwich?
I'll take a sandwich.
I'm going to go busy myself because this
Killing
is so fucking
demons
weird.
makes me hungry.
This is so fucking weird. But I was just like, I need to go focus on something simple.
I
A
love how
fucking
every
meat and
time
cheese sandwich.
You just keep coming back to Holly and then immediately leaving together. It's so fucking funny.
I'll stay at the room.
Okay.
He can go get me a sandwich if he
Yeah,
wants to use
I'm
it
gonna
as an
make-
excuse to leave.
I'm going to make like 3 sandwiches. Definitely not one for weird, creepy face guy.
We've reached chief masculinity where you send another man to go get you a sandwich while a woman runs the business presentation. Yes. I don't know what the term for this is, but let's invent
Role
one.
reversal, maybe?
The
Hey,
major
Rassie,
domo
who-
says, I've been denying requests from an investigator Decker, some sort of arbitrates, to come into the building. This is, of course, our sovereign territory. I've heard from you, and of course from various surviving department heads, about this incident. It is, needless to say, problematic to have a rogue trader kidnapped or murdered on our territory.
Yeah, so we can.
He voices that it happened again, and Rassie just punches the nearest object in frustration. He's not even a particularly strong dude. He's just gonna punch something.
I guess from my perspective, while we can deal with that, my main issue is what we do with the Cal ship and people, which are currently outside the station, currently providing stability to the Space Hulk, which, if what I heard is true, was actually the root cause of this whole problem.
The root cause of the problem, you say?
Well, so whoever that was came here looking for cows, destroyed our base of operations to get to cows,
With no awareness.
claimed to only be here because cows had secured the door, to use his word.
With absolutely no awareness whatsoever, Lieutenant Rassie says, "Oh, we have a lead. His name is Erasmus HAARLOCK.
Okay. So,
I'd say HAARLOCK.
you say HAARLOCK. Velamris, you're not in the room, right?
I am in the other room. I'm about
in
to
the
roll
kitchen.
awareness.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm rolling awareness to see if I hear that,
Okay.
and I'm not going to add anything to it. It's just gonna be a straight roll.
You're like, I don't need advantage for
Nope,
this one.
don't hear it. I'm done trying to get corrupted by you, damn it.
Holly, when he says Erasmus HAARLOCK, there's just this weird feeling that comes over you. And you already know that invoking the name of a chaos god is really bad. Like, it draws their attention, it can corrupt you, it can be used to, like, draw on their power and cause so-called magical energies. And you don't know what the fuck Erasmus HAARLOCK is, but this name, even coming from a blank, from a null, seems to carry some sort of unusual power.
Let's not say that again.
Isn't it important for us to know who we're looking for?
What you've said it, now we know.
Wait, what did I miss
Again.
as I come out with 3 sandwiches for the 3 of us at that moment? What are we not saying again?
Well,
I think
the
he
Major
looks.
Domo just looks at all of you and says, well, we should probably reduce the frequency of saying that name. It seems to disturb some of you other humans.
All right.
I just
Now,
look at
I would
Velamris and
say we should call it by a nickname, something that is
Yes.
derogatory, like Big E.
Looking
at you, Warhammer fandom.
Rassie just looks at Velamris, thinks about all the stupid shit that Velamris has done, and said, "Nothing you need to know."
Okay, here's your sandwich. It's just meat and cheese, but here, one for you, one for the sister.
Oh man, there's meat and it's not. Oh man, this is great.
I thought maybe you would be hungry too, Sister
It
Holly.
sounds as if we should
Sister
be
Abbess,
preparing
I
a
don't know how to
strike
address you anymore.
team to seize the Hand of Calixtus. It's clear that our rogue trader requires reparations for this attack on our territory. If we are to seize the vessel, we should prepare a team, and I'm sure that once we've eliminated the officers, a vessel such as that changing hands is nothing new for the crew. We don't need to kill 10,000 or so.
But most of our armsmen here were killed.
Unfortunately, I can put together a strike team of 8. I'm not sure that's sufficient.
9, but probably not a good idea. Aren't we trying to broker
no.
some sort of alliance with
Velamris, I unfortunately already counted you in that number.
So
well,
part of the issue here is that I don't think that they can use the Hand of Calixtus to attack, because they're currently using the Hand of Calixtus to stabilize the Space Hulk. So I'm not too worried about them using the vessel against us right now. They can still send forces to the station, though, if need be. I think that right now we need to just buy time. And so we don't attack them straight away. We simply respond to any communication requesting the Lord Captain's response, as he's currently indisposed, until we work out what we're doing here. I think that to turn on them, yes, I agree that either destroying the Hand of Calixtus or taking control of it might be what we have to do. But without the resources to do that right away, I think that we're best off delaying as long as we can.
is it possible that they could have been monitoring his vitae? I don't know what the 40K word for vitals would be. If they noticed any change, they may already know that something has happened. They could already be preparing to strike us. Perhaps if we tell them straight up what happened, we
Is
can
that a
avoid
thing
any
that
miscommunications.
Is that a thing that can be done?
Motherfucker, they teleport people.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Hey,
like,
so-
we have a guy that we have to keep feeding alien meat to.
I'm playing a
When you
stupid
say that out
guardsman.
loud, the Major Domo looks at you and says, "What do you know?"
No, someone else.
It's someone else, and we just move right past.
If they already knew he was dead, we already would have had an immediate response.
we don't.
I think I think the best way to deal with the Hand of Calixtus, if need be, is to load as many of the Wrathful Righteous onto Cal's shuttle he brought here and other shuttles, and send them across with instructions that the rogue trader brought demons, and just set them loose on the crew.
That is an effective means. It would take a few hours, I imagine, to get all of them gathered up and sent over, wouldn't it?
But
Listen,
we're not going to do that. Yeah.
I want to be 100% clear. The thought of that happening is like the animated Pocahontas movie with the song Savages. Just like a savages, like fucking people boarding the ship like wild men. Holy shit. All right, James. That's a pretty good fucking plan.
Actually, I'm impressed myself.
when you get the Warhammer Plus subscription AP, make sure you watch the Blood Angels series. It has like the G Stealer cult attacking the Blood Angels battle barge. It's
really good. That one is really, really good.
I mean,
really
I'm probably
enjoyed
going to
that.
watch all of them, but I just keep putting it off. The only subscription that I still have is Drop Out. So
yeah, that's right. I would join Warhammer Plus, but I'm currently flossing my cat.
What?
If we seize the ship, how would we operate a void craft like that? Or
We
whatever?
don't want the ship. We just don't want the ship to become a hostile entity here while we're trying to deal with whatever the situation is. But best case scenario, we convince them that Cal's died by his own misadventure, or if he's still alive, somehow bring him back.
Sister
Don't we
Holly,
have video
I
recording?
don't. You mean
Sorry.
pic capture? He says.
Yes, of course. That's what Velamris said.
Sister Holly, I admit that some of the vagaries of human interaction can evade me sometimes. If we were to return Pierre Cal's, would he be upset that we had killed his progeny, who are the officers, to get aboard? Or does he have enough eggs in the clutch?
I think there's plenty of eggs. It would just be a question of which progeny did he prefer over
I
others.
feel like it might be better to convince him that his own actions with his Geller field cause an attack and a grievance on Lord Captain Darkwind. But in our magnanimity, we wish to help them get the Lord Commodore back.
Yeah, so that needs to be our line when it gets to the point of them knowing that we. So and likewise, if we end up in the situation where we have to kill everybody on the Hand of Calixtus, and then we do get Pierre Cal's back, that needs to be our reasoning why, was that we had to take action to protect ourselves after the incident that he created. But I don't want to do that until that these are all actions of last resort. So this is why our tactic right now needs to be delay while we go and work out how we're going to try and deal with his disappearance, where he might have gone to, how we can get there. Now, certainly, what the perpetrator said was that Cal stabilized the door, which means that it's something on the Space Hulk.
I don't understand the nature of douche E, but do you think that the doorway is to the Hulk or from the Hulk to somewhere worse?
The Hulk was just a bridge between one point and here. I don't know if maybe
I feel like whatever door he's talking about is on the Hulk. That was the implication that I got.
But if he's taking him through the door, we would have to follow to get him back.
Surely that's not the only way into the warp, though, is it?
I do not know if that's where it goes.
So just to be clear,
it
the Major Domo has no problems with what you're talking about, and several of the people nearby are absolutely horrified when you're like, the warp, Daemons, let's travel there. They're just like, I'm going insane listening to you.
If Pierre Cowles has been bodily taken into the warp, then he is already functionally dead.
I don't think that was the intent.
Rassie,
I didn't hear
you
everything
literally
that was
watched
said.
him get frozen in time carbonite before he went into the warp.
Rassie has no idea how to even describe that.
I heard the word sacrifice.
I thought I heard that as well.
He was needed for some sort of sacrifice, and he was taken alive from this place.
So here's the other thing.
Rassie is clearly struggling to put these sentences together.
So the perpetrator the perpetrators didn't materialize in the corridor. They walked through the front door. So we can surely there is a path of destruction leading up to our front door. Something that gives us a clue of where they came from.
I hope so, sister, because he didn't leave through the front door.
Perhaps we should get some of the righteous. Jesus Christ. Righteous, wrathful.
Wrathful, righteous.
Yeah, those guys.
Archipelago.
Perhaps we should get shush.
And to the Major Domo, I guess the response to Arbitrate's Decker needs to be that he can submit a form to request access to the premises, and the rogue trader will review it upon his return.
I don't know that an Arbitrates is going to wait for a rogue trader. You're aware that they can get a little extrajudicial.
When they come back with a warrant, We will address it.
Yeah, we need to give them a part.
He looks at you and he's like, I don't think arbitres require warrants.
So this is probably your area of expertise, Velamris. We need to create a string of activities they have to do to delay this that they believe will lead to the outcome they want, even though each is a next step in a labyrinthine corridor of paperwork and procedure that will just tie them up.
Okay, so for the audience at home, James is initiating a version of game theory where he creates a puzzle where everything you attempt to solve leads to another puzzle, but it's not so frustrating that the goal of reaching the end of the puzzle is tantalizingly out of range. You have to be just close enough to get to the end all the time.
Yeah, and they can get clues if they watch ads.
So, Velamris, and I mean no offense by this, but you have experience at making things go incorrectly.
I will.
Wow, so many people are shitting on Velamris. It's actually mostly just Rassie.
I think in this case, it could prove advantageous.
Yeah, I think that Velamris is well familiar with paperwork hell.
I think I could put something together.
All right, we are going to roll off on paperwork hell.
Okay.
What skill would you like to roll for paperwork hell?
I feel like lore or logic.
I'll take logic for sure if you want to logic off against an arbitrace.
I'm going to let me see. I have data delver, which gives me
If you have time to prepare.
I think he would take some time to look up. Like he's gonna go look for the most time delaying, most time needed to fill out sort of paperwork to get access to the rogue trader's property, short of them showing up with like some sort of writ from
where are you going to delve on this data?
Within our own records.
So you're assuming that the rogue trader regularly evades the police?
No, I think he would have historical examples of other entities attempting to make contact, reaching out, marketing, etc.
Okay.
What things has he thrown up to slow them down or perhaps even prevent them?
Let's roll.
Certainly, it would be advantageous to a rogue trader house to know how to delay the Arbites long enough for a ship to launch.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think he's worried about breaking the law because when a rogue trader does, it's not illegal.
As long as they aren't in the Imperium, sure. I feel like you can go to Dr. Yiannopoulos and she'll assign you some people on her staff to help bring you the proper scrolls and ancient manuals to describe these things.
Yeah.
There's no how to delay an arbitrace 101 because that would be super heretical. But
yes,
you read between the lines and stories and ancient texts about how rogue traders have pulled off capers while the cops were looking the other way, distracted.
Yeah, just like arbitrates, customs officials, any like local security type entities. So that will give me advantage. Okay. I hope that's a big failure for you because I'm looking for every advantage I get. Let's drop a fate point and give myself a +1 success.
It's nice when fate points still work, right?
When they actually work, yeah.
Just get to that part where James tells you about how whenever you roll, you have to fail rather than succeed to succeed.
Yeah, no, I remember. I was thinking about that the whole time that Erasmus was on the station. So that's three degrees of success.
Okay. And this is 5 degrees of failure. So, yeah. Somewhere out there, Investigator Decker is like taking a clover cigarette, and he's just like put it in his mouth, and he's like, I don't have time for this shit. It's time to get a warrant. And he's like walking into the judge's chamber. He pushes the doors open super dramatically, like Aragorn entering.
I was just thinking the same thing, Aragorn.
He gets in there. The judge is surrounded by like 14 lawyers who are like putting paperwork in front of him. It's just like injunction, we're filing a delay. We'd like to request a review of Investigator Deckard's background, and this is a bribe. We're just outrightly bribing you, Judge. Someone just hands him a suitcase and opens it up, and it's just bars of pure gold. And Deckard just walks into the room, and he looks at the judge, and he just goes, "What the hell?" He takes his cigarette, he drops it on the floor. It's investigation. It's politically motivated. That's the last lawyer who comes in. It's a paralegal who comes in and he just goes, "Excuse me, Judge," and he pushes Deckard out of the way, and Deckard goes, "What the fuck? This investigation is politically motivated." And the judge goes, "Well, I've heard enough." I'm going to take this briefcase and I'm going to get a ticket on the hand of Calixtus. He takes off his massive wig, he gets up with the briefcase and leaves.
We just saved the judge's life. We can probably call that in for later.
I'm going to tell you what. I know it's a little early, but I feel like rather than how should I put this? Rather than Looney Tunesing a bunch of plans to deceive the hand of Calixtus crew, what if we took a week to come up with a real solid plan rather than how do we bamboozle a street cop?
We're gonna weekend at Bernie's to Pierre Cals into a television or a teleconference. Be like, "No, everything's fine. We're all good here. How are you?"
It's me, Wade the Ill-Tongued. Everything's fine.
No, we just need to like find his robes and stuff and put him on Rassie because everybody dislikes him as well. So
There you go.
Now I want to say this. I know people have been upset about my mishandling of canon before, but I'm making it canon now that Erasmus Harlock's unusual control over the deep warp and time is why Warhammer 40K has additions. Every time he changes something major, the rules change, and every time he changes something dramatically, the addition changes. So like all of the new armies being introduced and all of the new rules for them and like stratagems and shit like that, and the fact that pariah nexuses might be canon or might not be, and squats are in but then they're out, that's all Erasmus Harlock continuously tinkering with time until he can get to that point where his wife and child are still alive.
He's the fifth chaos god. He is the horned rat.
Alice.
Alice.
I want to be clear that in my establishment, he's not a god, but he's been to the deep warp that the other gods have not been. So
he's
come back. He's like what would happen.
This is the AP Cinematic Universe. He's unofficially the fifth Chaos God.
No, again, he's not a god. He's something way worse.
He's a demigod.
No, he's not a demigod. You know how daemon hosts are the souls of daemon that inhabit the bodies of humans?
Yeah.
You know how the deep warp is so bad that Tzeentch threw Kairos Fateweaver in there, and then you know how like all greater demons, and in fact all demons, are pieces of their god, and when Kairos came back, Tzeentch was like, "I don't know you. Who the fuck are you?" Because the deep warp is real weird. All right, well, look up the Well of Time.
Okay.
My man is a human soul who has encountered something in the deep warp and is possessing it.
Oh, great! It's suggesting the Wheel of Time. No, that's not what I wanted.
The Well of Time.
So he and this is out of character, by the way.
Yes.
He one of the things that Erasmus said was that Pierre Cals had the Feros.
No.
he was wondering
Chaderius
if
Darkwind has a Feros.
Feros. Okay.
he was wondering if he had returned yet with it.
Yeah.
Which he has not, as far as we know.
Yeah.
There's the Well of Time and Well of Eternity coming up. Is it the same thing?
The Well of Eternity, that sounds right.
Okay.
Look up if Kairos Fateweaver got thrown in it. Or just look up
He's
the
mentioned
article, is the deep warp canon, and get all the weird shit from there.
Reddit has apparently several posts about the deep warp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Chaos Gods are afraid of it. So my new canon is that Erasmus Harlock has been there and something came back.
I like how this event
Erasmus.
happened, and now Rassie is determined to become Doom Guy to restore his honor.
Fireballs
Pierre
are
Cowles has
theoretically
become his
possible, by the way.
rabbit.
I forget exactly which
You'll
part. in the
literally
cipher
go to hell
section.
to bring Pierre Cowles back just to redeem your honor.
Yeah, basically.
So let's
I mean,
see.
it's not even basically. That is entirely what that's his long-term goal.
So let me see if I got this right. Season 2, we're going to go to Titan's Lair and do some shit, and also try to figure out how to get PR Cowles back.
Let me walk
And
you through
also
the
arrange a
timeline.
wedding.
The next episode will be the finale of this season 1. Then we're
Okay.
going to do, I'm thinking, a 4-episode between season short series of travel to Titan's Lair called The Darkholds, which should really spoil what that mini arc is going to be about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
we're going to be
it-
rat
it-
catchers now.
It ties into the whole Wanda Maximoff, Agatha Harkness thing, yeah?
The Darkhold.
Oh, that's right. That is
It's a book.
on right now. James, I wish I was clever enough to have tied that in. If we say it enough, will the YouTube analytics pick it up in the auto translate and hook us up? And then we're gonna do the Titan's Lair arc, which will be all of season 2. And then from there, we'll figure out whether we're saving Pierre Cowles in season 2 or whether the show goes on longer. That's like a huge meta discussion here. And of course, you guys can fuck my plans up at any time by walking out into a hallway. So
Or killing the Space Marine, so we don't have to do a whole bunch of athletics
so
tests.
what he's saying there was his plan was corrupt the players or corrupt the characters.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that
failing
wasn't
and
his
taking
plan. His-
four.
my plan.
No.
was-
AP's plan was to corrupt the characters.
My
yes.
plan was to corrupt Velamris specifically.
Failing and taking those 4 points would have taken you to your limit, right? Or past it?
Yes,
If
I
you have
specifically
two-
asked him what his limit was last time.
Yeah, I think I have a limit of 5, and I'm at like 2 already.
Yeah, you would have crossed over that line and started getting weird.
I think technically, again, the rules as I understood them was when I failed that discipline test both times, I think. I know I definitely failed the last one. When you fail that discipline test, you're supposed to roll for either mutation or malignancy or whatever the other one is. That's where like you might develop a whole third arm, and now it's very obvious you're a mutant, and now people will kill you because that's what they're supposed to do. Yeah, this dude is trying to get.
I don't care if it's a short-term goal or not, but Rassie's short-term goal now is to get a holy shotgun.
Remember when Nero had this bolter and it had 10 rounds of holy ammunition? And I spent
Yeah.
the whole rest of the game being like, it's going to take me a whole round to reload into this thing. So I better be fucking strapped and ready. Got to save it for the perfect moment, but I have to have it in the gun before combat starts. I don't remember that I ever actually used it.
I don't think you did. I don't remember the holy ammo.
I
remember
used
him getting
all
it.
sorts of ammo, though. I definitely
You
used
did.
fuck tons of ammo
You
as
used a
Nero.
lot of organ grinder rounds. I remember
Yes.
that.
Well, I mean, I abandoned Nero at that point of the story where James is like, so I killed the queen, and I'm like, well, that's really bad. I think maybe someone needs to go protect my blood and flesh daughter. I don't know that he's walking away from that one. And that's how we got
Andrew Kyron.
Andrew. I couldn't remember his name. I was like, sad warp boy.
I
He
remember
was a
that
sad work
because
boy.
I really liked him too. But I remember the name specifically because when we did Darktide that one time, that was the character that you used.
It's me, Andrew Kyron.
As you ran around as a psyker, roaming the hives of.
I remember being
tertiary
fucking
crime.
awful as a psyker in that game.
Well,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well,
I hear
now I'm
you.
gonna
I
look
didn't think
up,
you were that bad, but
Now I'm going to
I
look at
definitely
the
was focused on
acquisition rules to get something that I can try to roll against to get myself a holy shotgun.
What is this
you
holy...
just get a regular shotgun
Listen, you can just
and then
have
get it blessed
Sister
by Sister
Holly
Holly.
bless the shotgun, but if you're looking for magic powers,
I want a demon slaying shotgun.
You're gonna need a hell of a lot better shotgun than what you can find in the Imperium Maledictum book.
Damn.
You're gonna listen. What you're talking about is a splat book. You might even be talking about the Forbidden One, third-party tomes.
Are we getting any downtime between next week and
no
the four mini arc?
Next episode is the last one of this season, but
okay.
I will give you 70 experience points right now.
Well, I was gonna see about trying to get rid of some of this corruption somehow, but
no, I'm happy right now with what we're getting.
Yeah, I'll definitely
don't
take
you
70.
talk him out of it.
I can give you
I'll definitely
half
take
the
70.
experience points.
Whoa, hold on. Oh no, you said 70. We're good.
Hey, if he talks himself into a hole, I will gladly leave him in that room alone.
I think you need to undergo a holy quest or try to attain a spiritual vision. I mean,
what if
the Emperor literally guided you against the Noise Marine in the form of your father? He was literally like, "It's me, I'm here."
Yeah.
And that wasn't good enough. You needed a second point, and the Emperor was like, "Okay, I'm showing up as myself. Fucking do it."
Maybe I was being too subtle.
Yeah, listen, I am the God Emperor, bitch. Calm down. I don't know what you have planned for the Darkholds, but I have a feeling we're going to be clearing out a bunch of mutants and shit.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. What an incredible prediction.
We get,
right.
So
I wonder if Velamris' motivation for that will be the redemption of some of that corruption he's picked up.
Ooh.
So it's a conundrum now about whether or not we use the blessed wrathful, so the wrathful righteous to kill everybody in the hand of Calixtus, or to kill the mutants and the Darkholds.
Why not both?
Well, because they're a finite resource.
Well, you have a whole week to make that decision. You have a whole week or more. I mean, who knows if we'll even meet up next week. But you have some time to think about a plan for how to trick the Hand of Calixtus or otherwise indebtify them to you. Because I know players, and if this session continued in character, we would have come up with some real fucked up war crime shit, for sure. Or an insane plan that involved dressing up and being like, "Hello, it's me, Pierre Cows."
So instead, next week we'll get some well-planned war crimes.
Yeah. Speaking of war crimes, AP, can you give me suppressing fire talent, please?
Oh, this guy, he's always buying talents. Why can't you buy skills like a normal person?
Because
I bought a bunch of skills.
I will. Eventually.
I want to share quickly a conversation I had with Dynamis this week as well, which I found was quite funny. So Dynamis has been told by his employer he has to come back to the office full time from a certain point next year. And apparently the CFO of his company, which is a $1 billion company, said on the call with all the staff that when you engage with your co-workers via Teams or remotely, you're only using 2 of your senses. When you do it in person, you're using all 5. So my advice to you as a manager is don't lick your co-workers.
Yeah, there was somebody in HR was on that call going, "Please no.
A whole bunch of 27-year-old Twitch chatters are going sniffa right now. What talent is it that you require?
Suppressing fire.
Suppressing fire.
It's one of those highly administrative talents he likes to use.
Starship Troopers Intensify.
Listen, Velamris has always been the tactical guy. Why do you think he's walking around with 2 auto pistols and a sniper rifle?
This motherfucker walked up to a dude in Space Marine armor and shot him in the chest with 2 fully automatic pistols.
I did shoot him.
He's not tactical. He's fucking scary. He's starting to approach like mini Sly Marbo or whatever that guy's name levels.
Sly Marbo.
This guy's gonna end.
Ryan, Deep Strike, Jetpack, and Giggle. That's who he is.
Like
Look him up. He's a great Gatachan. He's a fantastic meme.
Rassie's gonna end up being that guy from Kafias Kane, his weird null surfing guy who's just like, "Oh, I just walk around with like a big ass plasma cannon and I shoot stuff." Well, any last minute thoughts about this weird clock centric episode?
It's highly liberating playing a 40K game, which was determined at the start to be a comedy, because any time someone's like, but the county like comedy, it's.
But I believe what you meant to say is a dark office comedy, which I fully think this episode turned into.
Yeah, but then also it's funny then to tether it to the serious shows we've done previously.
Yes.
So
somewhere out there, the Dark Inquisition is lurking at the edge of this storyline with a Dark Mechanicus agent that's still on the loose, and you guys are just like, man, we're doing great, right?
Yeah. Hey, I'm currently playing a Crusade narrative campaign with an Eldari army, and I certainly named my Farseer after my character from Dark Inquisition.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to start, probably on TTS, because I will never have the money and certainly not the time to paint actual minis. But eventually, I'm going to start playing some Warhammer tabletop war games. I'm going to be looking for you, James.
Ultramarines.
No, actually, you know what? I've been curious about the salamanders. I haven't. Now I say that because I don't know anything about them, but I'm curious about them because everybody's like Ultramarines or Blood Angels, and I'm like, I don't want to do the iconic ones. Let me get one that's not quite as iconic.
So you chose another of the primary legions, right?
Yes, of course.
Just make up your own chapter.
I mean, I could. But...
Salamanders are the ones that are like, but no, we won't just destroy all these innocent people to kill the bad guys. We're going to protect them. They are they're as good as Marines can really get.
Yeah.
Also, fire.
This fucking Ultramarine slander right here. All right, they're pretty good too, and there's the implication.
The implication? I'm missing something.
I'll get it for you. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No, Rassie was like, "Hey, I'm buying into social skills." Rassie is probably going to stop buying social skills for a while.
There's some skills or talents or whatever that I'm going to be getting that aren't exactly combat focused, but I think for Velamris right now, he's got plenty of time on the desk narratively, and so he's definitely wanting to explore, especially now that he's basically gotten himself out of the Administratum. Now he wants to be the gun guy and explore that for a little while. But eventually I'm going to be getting some more
I need you to be really good at paperwork so you can requisition a holy shotgun for me.
I mean, I think I can now.
You think you're that good at Administratum tasks?
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like, I mean, it just takes a good roll, really, but...
I might move away from leadership skills for a bit and focus on medical skills for a bit.
Yeah, we're probably going to start using them a lot.
Especially if we're going to be doing more combat-oriented shit.
Yeah.
Salamanders are good to humans. Everything else, and especially Eldar, are not good. I mean, I feel like that's Space Marines in general, but maybe I don't understand everything.
Sorry, did you say Space Marines?
I don't. Yes, why not? Spice Marine.
It's how you may get over here.
What did Pondo call the orcs? He said, just tell them that the Drukhari called them a bunch of stupid gits or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now, there's a ticking clock, not just one caused by Erasmus HAARLOCK, but there's a ticking clock out here that counts down until the time Omar Krieg discovers the Primeworks, and that's going to be a beautiful moment.
Puny git. There you go, Pondo.
Puny god.
I don't know. That was good.
Is there anything else we need to cover before we wrap up for today? Is everyone good for next week as well?
I am good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. That's it then. Audience at home. We'll see you next week or something. I don't normally name these episodes until after a week has passed, but I knew the last episode was going to be called TikTok, and this one's going to be called HAARLOCK. So TikTok, HAARLOCK.
Drop a rock. No, wait.
No, the next episode's not going to be called Drop a Rock. It's just going to be
But
called
if we drop a
Finale
rock-
because it's the season finale.
But if we drop a rock somehow, can we
If Rassie falls down a flight of stairs, we can drop a rock.
Oh my god. He's Victor Kovacsing himself.